Hey everybody, I'm here in my apartment. I'm not on location. I'm not going to explain something cool to you today. I just want to show you something neat that I came across, some more information about my last video about the ghost town of Gazzam up in Clearfield County. So I got this envelope in the mail this last Saturday. And see, I'd reached out before I uploaded the video. I reached out to the Clearfield County Historical Society and said, hey, do you have any pictures of Gazzam? You know, it's really pretty impossible to find any pictures of this place. And I know when I was a kid, I saw this map of the grand plans that the CBC had for Gazzam. And do you happen to have those or have that map? And, you know, anything you can get me, any information would be great. I look forward to hearing back from you. A week went by. I didn't hear anything. I thought, okay, they must not check their mailbox or anything. But I was wrong. Thankfully, I was wrong, because in this envelope, which is kind of funny. They didn't send me a note that said, you know, thank you for writing to us, blah, 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 here's the information. They sent me a pamphlet about the Clearfield County Historical Society. And then, this is the good stuff. I got the goods. And of course, I'm going to be throwing these into the video here so you can pause the video and read them yourself, because you're not going to be able to see what I'm talking about. But they've got all these news articles about Gazzam through the years. So this is a copy of what I assume is the Clearfield Progress, though it doesn't say, from August 26th, 1885. And it's got Ansonville and Gazzam in the middle. Ansonville is still existing town just up the road from Gazzam. And it has some news clips that, you know, were newsworthy in 1885, that things that, why would you put that on the news now in 2024? But it's because everything was so much more local. Back then. For instance, the first bulletin here is Ed Ames is having his new house painted. It says Mrs. Clark, daughter of Esquire Levon, is building a new home. Stuff like that. It just kind of gives you a peek into the daily life in Gazzam and Ansonville. Something I did find interesting here having to do with the town itself. And this surprised me because I didn't think that, you know, building codes or anything like that existed back then. It says, the foundation of the new depot in Gazzam was condemned by the authorities and ordered to be rebuilt. So even back then, you had people coming out and telling you to put it up to code. And then they've got this next little bit here from 1913, which, if you remember from the video, is the date that Gazzam disappeared from the map, sort of, because it is still on the map technically, but there's no town. November 21st, 1913, passing of Gazzam. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. Like I said, I'll put it up on screen. But it does confirm what I had showed you in the video, that the houses ended up at Carnworth, which is, you know, a few miles down from Ansonville and Gazzam. And there it is. It's in the print. The original article, also from the Progress, I believe. Now this is where it gets cool. Again, there's no pictures of the town itself. You know, nobody stood up on the hill and took a picture of this bustling little coal town, which, I mean, maybe they did, and nobody has those pictures anymore. The pictures don't exist. I don't know. That'd be really cool to see. If you come across that, email me. Let me know. This is the 1897 Gazzam Reds baseball team. And I love looking at these pictures of people from back in the 1800s and early 1900s, because there's so many faces where you can say, you know, I can walk out on the street and see a guy that looks just like that. And then there's some people where you go, wow, that guy really looks like he's from the 1800s. And it's just a nice mixture of those people in this picture. And there's also some uniforms from a Clearfield team and a Lock Haven State Normal School, which I thought was really cool to see in there. There's some little kid photobombing over at the edge of the picture. And then similarly, from 1897, is a picture of the school class of that year, or maybe not the graduating class, of course, these are all young kids, but an elementary school class anyway, with the names of everybody in the picture, though it doesn't say who the teacher is. But that's just, I mean, that's awesome that somebody knew who these people were and recorded it. And now I'm able to share that with you guys for a little bit more insight into the town itself, so it's not just, you know, foundations in the woods. The last article here, well, I guess actually this is two articles. This is from the Progress from 1979. It says Gazzam, a name on the map but hard to find. And it details, you know, pretty much the same thing that I told you in the video, where the history of Gazzam, and then it's gone. I mean, there's really nothing left. even by 1979, and even as I mentioned by that 1940 article, they said there was nothing left. That was 30 years after the town had disappeared. And then there's another article. This one is undated, but I think it's also from around the same time, just going again over the history of Gazzam. And I'm going to put these up on screen so you can see them again. Now, this is my favorite part. And if you know me, of course, it's not surprising that a map is my favorite part. This must have been taken from a book, because you can see the kind of the gutter line down the middle. This is the map that I remember seeing when I was a kid. The version I saw was in color. This is, of course, just a photocopy, but I mean, look at that. And I'm going to put this onto Google Earth so you can see how it lines up with the streets that are still existing. But wow, they had grand plans for this town. So when they said, that Gazzam was destined to become one of the best coal towns in the region, they weren't kidding. They had some really grand plans, and unfortunately, almost none of it came to fruition because there was less coal than they anticipated that there was. This is really, really great. I am so grateful to the Clearfield County Historical Society. I haven't written them a letter of thank you yet, but I absolutely will. And this is your reminder, if you're watching this, to utilize those local resources, because I haven't visited this historical society in person, but I am involved with the Beaver County Historical Society, both of them. There's two, as well as the local historical societies where I live in Pittsburgh. And it's mostly retirees. These are people volunteering their time because they care about preserving the memories, not just their own memories and when they were a kid, but I mean, obviously from way before they were kids, in the 1800s and before that even. So if you are not already, go out and support your local historical societies, become a member, even if you don't plan to go every month. It's usually like $20 a year for these things. And they're the ones doing the heavy lifting when it comes to the kind of research that I'm doing for these videos. So I'm infinitely grateful to not only the Clearfield County Historical Society in this instance, but every other historical society that has their stuff online or makes it easy for you to contact them. I haven't gone in person to any yet pertaining to YouTube research, but I'm sure I will be in the future. So big shout out to those people who are the keepers of our history. It's totally overlooked by the majority of people, but it is so, so important. So that's about it for my update on Gazzam, but I really wanted to share what I don't want to say what I found because I didn't find it, but the information that has been given to me, because it really just brings the town to life. And that's what I love about history in general, is that you can look at this pit in the ground or this old well, and it is now just a pit, but it is also so much more. It was somebody's well in their yard. It could have been one of the kids in this photo or one of the baseball players in this photo, right? I mean, 400 people used to live there, where now it's just a couple houses. So again, I'm rambling, but I just wanted to update this, and stay tuned for the next episode of Knowles Explores and Explains. See ya.